Then after that, there are three kind of a system that you will find. One, it is known as a development. Another, it is known as a quality. And another, it is known as a production. Okay. So you will have a three kind of a system. One, it is known as a development. Another, it is quality. And another, it is production. So what we do in development, we do all the configuration. All right. We do all
Yeah.
the implementation in development, including configuration plus customization. So once you have done all these things into the development, you move all the your configuration to your quality. And how you move that? You move with the TR, which is known as a transport request. Anything that you're going to configure into the SAP HCM system, you will see there would be a transport request. It will be configured. And some people, they also call it as a CR, which is a change request. All right.
Oh,
So
yeah.
there would be, you will see that, like as we proceed ahead with the session and whatever we're going to configure everything, there would be whole TR, it will come, and that's where you will save all your configuration. So if you have to shift from all the configuration from development to quality, you move that TR from development to quality, and then from quality to production, you move it. So that is where you will find all these details, right? So from shifting from development to quality and from quality to production. Okay.
Yeah.
Then there is something which is also known as a FRICE activity. Now let's understand what is FRICE. FRICE is only required in the implementation part. As I said, that there is a lot of thing, not lot of thing, but some part of it, your client will always require for the to be customized as per their requirement if it is not available in the standard thing. Okay. Now let's
Okay.
understand what is F stands for. F stands for form. Okay. If there
Okay.
are certain form which is not available and the client want in a particular way, so in that case you will have to develop those forms. Like for example, let's suppose client do not want to use the standard payslip of SAP, and whatever the payslip they have been using, the existing one, it should the client want to use the same payslip. So in that case, you will have to develop that form. All these FRICE activity has to be done by the ABAPer only. We don't do anything. We are only
Okay.
functional consultant is only limited to the configuration part, not the customization part.
Yes.
Then after that, you will see there is a R. What is R? Report. Okay.
Okay.
If there is any report, a specific report which client wants, and that report is not available in the system, so in that case, you will have to develop that report. However, as I said, because SAP is there, from such a long time in the market, so normally all the standard report and what your government requires, most of them, it is already provided by SAP. But in case by any chance, maybe certain client, they have their own report and they have their own format and they want in that format only. So in that case, you will be required to develop that report. I stands for interface. What is interface? Yes, Soumya.
Yeah.
So what is interface?
Mm, interface is nothing but I'm not sure how to explain that, but yeah.
Okay.
No.
Interface is something when you connect SAP to third-party system. Like
Okay.
for
Yeah.
example, when you will be working in a company, you will see, like everybody, they have their access card, right? So through
Yes.
which they record time in and time out of a company.
Okay. Yeah.
So how that third party system is connected to SAP, that is with the interface.
Okay, yeah, got it. Yeah, yes.
So so that is one interface, and especially also in the US, US has their own benefit system. So SAP also has their own benefit module. But normally in the US, what happens? Most of the companies, there is a small vendor and that vendor, they take care of all the benefit and they're very happy with that. So, what happens? They don't want to transfer from that vendor to SAP for benefit related activity. So they want to still continue with that same small vendor who's providing them benefit. So in such cases, you will have to interface with that small vendor for benefit.
Yes,
Okay. So that
yes,
is
yes.
another interface. So like this, who will do all these interface? All of these interface, it will be done by the developer through coding. So we are not, any FRICE activity will not be done by us. It will be done by the developer only.
Yeah.
Then you
Okay,
have a
yeah.
C, which stands for conversion. Are you aware what is conversion?
Conversion is nothing but if you want to change anything from one form to the other, like
No, no,
maybe
no.
converting.
Conversion, it is like, let's suppose you have done with the this implementation. Everything has been done and everything has been tested also. Now, before you go live, all the employee data, let's suppose there are 100 employee data, that employee data has to be transported into the SAP system, right?
Yes, yeah.
So those forms and everything you develop, right, that is known as a conversion. We will see one of the conversion in PA module.
Okay, I didn't get it that much. Interface, I got it, but
All right.
conversion, I'm a little bit confused.
Let's suppose you have done all the configuration and including you have done all the customization also, whatever the client requires. Correct?
Okay.
Your
Yeah.
client, you have also tested, which is successful, and your client has also tested, which is successful.
Okay.
Okay. Then after this, you will also see your after your this detail, you will see it is like, see, once everything has been successful, then you also need to export your client data, your employee data also in the system, right? You're not going to manually maintain all these employee data. If there are 100 employee, there has to be some way through which you can maintain and you can upload those data in a system.
Yes, yes.
So how you will do that? You will do that with the help of a conversion.
Okay.
Okay. There are various conversion tool which is known as a LSMW, and I think there is some another tool which I don't remember, but LSMW, it's a very common tool which people they use to do the conversion. We will see this when we will come to your personal administration module.
Okay. Yeah.
And then there is a E which is known as a enhancement. What is enhancement? Enhancement is something which we have already discussed, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So that is all these detail you will see into the system. You will do that enhancement. Acha, here just talking about the system, there can be various other system also. There can be various time, the client asks you for pre-production. Then some certain times, they ask you for the sandbox.
Okay.
But these three system 100% will be there. These are the optional. So
Okay.
sandbox is nothing. It's just, there are certain times when consultant like they want to practice and they want to see whether it has been successful or not. So all these detail, you will do that into the sandbox.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So all these section we will do into the sandbox. And so that was the overview section. There is still more overview. So we will see SAP navigation. This is also the part of a overview section only.
Okay.
And the team will send you the SAP logon detail. That's where you can actually go ahead and log in into the system. And they will tell you, I think whenever they'll send you, I'll help you to guide how to install with the SAP GUI. version. But
Okay.
before that, let me log in into the system and show you what is this navigation is all about. So in SAP navigation, we're going to see the navigation overview. What all we're going to cover? We're going to cover the definition, how we can log in into the system, how we can change the password, what is SAP window component, and using the navigation area, what is the transaction code, so how you can start a transaction, how you can, what is transaction code, what is favorite, how you can create a shortcuts, icon and function, what does it mean, messages, reports, and the business workplace, right? So all these detail we will see.
Yeah.
However, there is some changes which has been done
Mm-hmm.
because SAP has moved from ECC to HANA system, what we have
Yeah.
discussed yesterday, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So there is some change in the screen also has happened. We will
Oh,
see. Now, there is in HCM, there is not much change which has happened except for the posting part of it. But the rest, all the modules, there's a lot of changes which has happened. So let's go
okay.
ahead and see what is all these detail. So for one, it is whenever you will log in into the system, you will see client, user, username, and password. Acha, are you going to see SAP system screen for the first time?
Yes, just as I told you, I saw the videos in YouTube. And,
Sure,
yeah.
that's from the video, but otherwise you will be seeing for the first time only, right? All right.
Yes.
Whenever you will log in into the SAP system, it will ask you for the client, user, and password and the login language. Who
Okay.
configure all these detail, like which system has to be used where, like whether it's a development system, quality system, and production system. With each of the system, the client will differ. But who does all these detail?
Okay.
Yeah, who does all these? Who makes the system ready? It is done by the basis team.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And
Mhm.
also, see, there has to be some data in a system, right? There will be some data in a system, and because you cannot create everything from a scratch, so there'll be some data in a system. That's where you will copy those detail into the system. So how you will do that? You will do that with the the SAP basis team also provide you some standard data. They copy all that data from the golden client and they bring it to the client system. So that is the reason your standard data will also be available in the system. Okay.
So this is all what we call landscaping.
Yes, this is all we call the landscape thing. And before you start configuring your all the module, this system has to be ready with the basis team.
Oh, okay.
All right. So the basis team will make sure that the system is ready, and some standard finance activity also has to be done, like creation of a company and company code. Then only the rest of the module will come into the picture.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So here also you can see client, user, username and password. And here also you can see client, user, username and password, right? So these things are required to log in into the system. Then we have also discussed various module, which includes ABAP. ABAP is nothing we have been talking about. It's a programming language, right? And in case if something has to be developed, or in case if something has to be enhanced or modified, who will does it? It will be done by the ABAPer, and they will
Developer.
do with the code. They will enhance or do everything from the scratch. They will build it. Then there are certain authorization. Authorization, it is who will have what access. So this is done by all these authorization. Who will do? It will be done by the basis team.
Okay.
All right. So basis team will do all these authorization. They will configure all these, and then they will provide you all these details and everything. So that is what the authorization. Then there is another detail coming here as a workflow. What is workflow?
Workflow.
Yeah.
Maybe the order of work to be done.
Workflow, it is like, for example, let's suppose I am your manager. All right. Well, let's suppose my company it is present into multiple country, and I am your manager, you are a consultant. You are sitting in the US and I'm sitting in India. Now, let's suppose tomorrow you want a leave. So you're not
Oh,
going to fly down from US to India just to take an approval from me, right? So in
yeah,
that
yeah.
case, there has to be a system in which when you say that, that, like, for example, you maintain that, you want a leave, that detail, it should trigger and it should come to me. And based on
Oh,
that, I can decide whether I have to approve or I have to reject.
okay,
So
yeah.
that, so basically, it's a kind of a notification which has to trigger.
Okay. So it is like
Okay.
kind of communication.
It is a kind of a communication only. So there will be that notification. It will trigger to me. And with that, as a manager, I can decide whether I have to approve or I have to reject. Now, this is not only just for leave, it can be for anything. Like, for example, tomorrow you'll be doing the appraisal, right? HR will only launch the form. So that form you're going to fill. After that, that form, it has to come to me, right?
Okay,
Because
yeah.
I'm the manager and I have to provide you the rating. So how it will happen? It will happen via workflow.
Okay, okay.
Workflow is also done by there are separate workflow consultant.
So this
So though
workflow is like all about like permissions or something. Is
yes,
that?
there would be a separate consultant for workflow. They will configure all these things. We will not do anything.
Okay, okay.
So it's
So,
just a notification which will get triggered informing that this employee is requesting for a leave. Now, as a manager, do you want to approve or you do not want to approve? So such detail, it is known as a workflow.
okay, okay.
Okay.